As heirs of the great legacy of Andrew Fisher, and those who have followed him this last 100 years, the challenge for us today is to answer history's call to our generation, to build Australia's future upon the strong foundations that have been laid in the past. Just as Fisher helped build Australia's future for the 20th century, so we must shape Australia for the 21st century. As a government, we came to office with an ambitious agenda because we believed Australian families deserve better opportunities, better health, better hospitals, better schools, and a better workplace. When we were all threatened by the global financial crisis, we acted decisively to support Australian families. I was determined, as Prime Minister, to shield Australians from an economic cyclone which was not of their making, a cyclone that would have seen hundreds of thousands of Australians lose their jobs, their homes and their businesses, as has happened to innocent families right around the world. Instead, we took decisive action, and Australia came through stronger than almost any other advanced economy in the world. Throughout that crisis, we were determined to sustain Australia's essential confidence in its future, in our future, as we saw confidence collapse around the world. This is the point of everything we are doing, because without confidence in our future, the nation turns in on itself. In government, I have strived to remove the obstacles and to expand the opportunities so that no Australian is held back from fulfilling their individual potential. I've sought to support the daily efforts of individuals, families and communities around the country as they work hard, raise kids, build businesses, create communities, and through both success and adversity, sustain hope in their future. That is why we acted to end work choices. That's why we have supported families with 3 years of tax cuts, with extra help with the costs of childcare, with extra help for the costs of school, with a better health and better hospital system for the future, driving our education revolution to deliver the best educated, best trained, best skilled workforce anywhere in the world. In government, we have always aimed to deliver a big reform agenda, and there are times when we've run into difficulties, when we haven't achieved everything that we set out to do. And we are working hard to deal with those areas where we have fallen short. Our task, and Labor's historic task, is to give people the security they need to achieve their ambition and to realise their dreams. Now, as we look beyond 2010, we are determined to continue the job that we have begun for Australian families, delivering not just on the big picture, but on the things that count for families and for communities as well. We're getting the budget back to surplus in 3 years' time, 3 years ahead of time, to keep our economy strong. Through strong economic management, we've halved net peak debt. We're already funding 1,000 new nurse training places every year. We'll have an additional 1,300 GPs qualified or in training by 2013. We're currently delivering trades training centres for 732 secondary schools right across Australia, and over the next 3 years, we'll ensure another 520 schools have access to one as well. And despite setbacks delivered by an obstructionist Senate, we're tackling climate change by boosting the renewable energy target and supporting record renewable energy investment, and by building one of the world's largest solar power plants right here in Australia. Andrew Fisher faced daunting challenges in 1910. We face daunting challenges today. To secure our nation's future, we must continue to adapt and to change. We must keep our markets open because open markets maximise competition, which in turn maximises growth. We must modernise Australia's industries and institutions to generate the jobs of tomorrow rather than believing we can somehow snap freeze the past. To stand still is to go backwards. Open markets, by contrast, are dynamic. We must invest in roads, in rail, in ports, and broadband. Fisher began a trans-Australian railway to build a truly national economy. We will build a national broadband network to underpin the national economy of the future. Above all, we must invest in our people, in their education, their health, and in the strength of their community. This isn't just about our national economy, the skills of our workforce, or the competitiveness of our industries, though they are crucial. It's about lifting our nation's ambitions for the future and calling forth the best, the absolute best from all Australians. Not just for ourselves, not just for ourselves individually, not just for our families, but also for the common good, for the commonwealth of Australia. That's why Labor has always been the party of reform, building a stronger Australia, building a fairer Australia, and making the tough decisions for Australia's future.